Okay, when you're ready then.
So this is my crime drama. I call it Brothers in Crime because obviously the traditional saying partners in crime, it kind of brings off the tongue and keeps it in your head and makes people think about it and makes people talk about it. So a brief overview. This is kind of like the blurb of it. So it's a true British crime drama about the struggles that teenagers in the UK go through. So one of the brothers, he's a drug dealer. He's a criminal essentially, and he's arrested. And it's all about the younger brother and whether he'll like go with him, whether he'll avenge him, or whether he'll stay being in school and doing well in all his subjects because I think he's 17, and it's whether he'll choose good or bad. So my inspiration for this was Green Street. I don't know if any of you have heard of Green Street, but it's essentially a football hooligan film, and it's about two men, Matt and Pete, and one of them is part of the football hooligan gang, and one of them is basically getting inducted into it.
It just doesn't make any sense, Matt. Why would you have been expelled if you didn't do anything wrong?
I know you got screwed here. That's $10,000. I think it's a pretty good deal.
We never had a deal.
How you doing?
It's good to finally meet you.
Finally made it across the pond then, did you? 100. You take Matt here to the match.
Bruv, you know I can't take a yank to football. Guess you know much of a fighter. I will take you with me. You might learn something.
About soccer?
No, mate. Not about soccer. This is Matt.
Hello, mate. GSC. He's peaceful. He calls the shots.
My boys are bringing the old GSC reputation right back.
So basically, pros are gangs.
But it's really about reputation.
Oh, yeah, with Pete and those stubs.
Completely outnumbered, but we're stuck by our mate. That's what it's all about.
So yeah, you see that there's love and hate in both characters' experience, which obviously that's pretty similar to what happens in Brotherhood. So the main characters, the older brother is called Leo, and he's the drug dealer, he's the criminal, and the younger brother is Jack, and he's going to college. He's an intelligent boy, but he obviously loves his brother, and if his older brother gets in any trouble, then he won't shy away from trying to stick up for him and save him. And obviously the target audience is 15 to 30 year olds, so young adults basically, and that's why I chose these ages to be the main characters, as it provides relatability as they're similar ages. So side characters, Leo and Jack, they have their mother, Lorraine, who wants the best for her sons like every mum does, but she's too nervous, she's too afraid to deal with what the older brother's doing, and she won't like intervene. And some way through the series, she dies in a car crash, and that massively affects both the boys' mental health. So that has a slight change on how the boys look at stuff. So Ryan, he goes to the police over Leo after they have a fight over a drug disagreement, and in the end, Jack decides that he's going to avenge his brother, and he actually kills Ryan, and there's a whole cliffhanger at the end about how this happens. And they did have a dad, but he's mentioned a lot, but he died before the events of this, so you can kind of see where they get some trauma and why they go into criminal world, and yeah. So the setting going to be set at a typical UK council estate, where stereotypically there's a lot of crime, and it's also going to be set in around London or Essex, providing the accent, which is familiar for the UK fans of British content. Yeah, so it's mostly going to be set around in the streets, in their house, but also as Leo gets arrested, it's going to be set in a courtroom because there's going to be a couple episodes about the whole court case. So this is my screenplay of the opening scene. It's essentially just provides a picture of how Leo's dealings in the criminal world often occur. I also got my storyboard with some dodgy drawings, but yeah, it's just a reference to how I want things to play out. And this was my title sequence that I made earlier. So from that, I feel the music really adds to the kind of mystery and kind of provides suspense to that and tension. So camera work, I thought a balance of static and dynamic shots would sort of encapsulate that, like it wouldn't feel too mobile or too stable. And also, I want the story to be told from the point of view of both characters. So there will always be the main storyline, it will kind of be through their eyes. And as this is the case, there will be cutaways into the different storylines at the same time in order to tell both sides of the story, essentially. So lighting, there will be a lot of low-key lighting, as a lot of it will be set at night time. And also this provides a gloomy and sinister mood. However, also, as I mentioned in the courtroom, there's not going to be low-key lighting in there, so as traditional for courtrooms, there's going to be a lot of high-key lighting in there. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Have you actually scouted some of those locations yet? You know,
yeah, I have.
where you're going to film?
There's places like in Felsted. There's there's kind of alleyways and kind of near the housing estate where you can film like maybe deals going on or like chase scenes or something like that. Okay. But then also for a courtroom, I think my uncle, he's a lawyer, and I haven't spoken to him yet, but there's probably something that maybe he could do about getting in a courtroom.
Okay. Oh, good. And can you tell me about what your first shots are going to be, like what they're going to depict?
So
you had a storyboard there.
Yeah. So my first shots, they're going to be kind of. I was going to start off by static, and having Leo kind of walk into like an alleyway, and then it's going to be like an over the shoulder shot of him kind of walking into shot, and there's going to be a guy, like a silhouette of a guy that he's dealing drugs with, essentially, and it's kind of going to be like a small standoff because they kind of meet each other and they don't know like who each other is at this point. So it's going to be like a short standoff, and I thought that was a good shot to like start the series off with.
Yeah, sounds good. Excellent. Well done.